breaking news here. The verdict is in. Anthony Karmelo found guilty of murder. So we're reporting that live here again. Anthony Karmelo has been found guilty of killing a fellow teen at a track meet last year, stabbing him in the chest after he was allegedly shoved by the fellow athlete. And again, that breaking right now.
Yeah, they got into an altercation under a tent. It reportedly started to rain, and it was Austin Metcalf. He's the victim. It was his team's tent. Anthony comes in, and then the altercation happens. He is guilty. Doug Burns, Donte Mills with us on set to break this down. They only deliberated for a couple hours. Donte, your initial reaction to this?
This is consistent with what I thought when we saw that it was a 3-hour deliberation. I assumed that they went in there and everybody was on the same page to begin with one extreme or the other, either murder or being held not guilty. It turns out they all agreed that he was guilty of murder. That means they did not buy that he was truly in fear of his life. They did not buy that there was truly a threat that could have taken his life and gave him the authority to take somebody else's.
I just want to point out what we're watching here. We're watching as people obviously outside the courtroom in McKinney, Texas, are getting word of the verdict. You can see one woman in the hat there visibly weeping. Obviously, there will be a lot of emotion in response to the verdict in this case. Again, Karmelo Anthony convicted of murdering a fellow teenager. You see his image right there. Doug and Donte, I did want to ask you, I can only imagine how long it's going to take until we start hearing allegations of racism in the outcome of this case. Your opinions?
Well, you'll see, ancillary stuff online, social media, and all of that. But in the confines of the actual criminal case in court there, I don't think you'll see much of that. In the end, it's interesting. I give big kudos to the prosecutor, because the beauty of law and trials is, lawyers are supposedly make everything complicated and use big words, but in the end, it's simplicity. You cannot combat somebody's hands on you with a knife and kill them.
And Doug, it was one stab, one very strong, deep stab that took the life of Austin Metcalf.
Well, it would have been much worse, as Donte had said, if it had been multiple stabbings. But at the same time, you don't bring, they used to say, you don't bring a gun to a fist fight. So we'll adjust that to you don't bring a knife to a fist fight. There were factors in the defendant's favor, which is that the victim was, much, much bigger than him, which is relevant. He could have been in fear somehow. But when you're in high school and you get in a dust-up, I can speak from my own experience, you're not thinking that you're going to be killed.
Yeah.
We say that it's tough, though. Listen, this is a tragic situation all around.
Yeah, I agree.
2 teenagers' lives are completely changed. One is lost, and the prayers go out to Austin and his family. It's a devastating incident to lose a loved one, especially in this way, where it just should not have escalated. I think that's the thing that we hope people get out of this. There's no need to escalate these things, whether it started with Austin putting his hands on him or even approaching him, or for Karmelo having that knife on him and deciding to use it. We don't want that to continue to happen. It doesn't matter what race you are. You should be able to talk trash, right? If you're an opposing team and all of that, without escalating it to a position.
Each other, if necessary.
If it comes to that, it really should.
But we don't want it to come to that,
but not
tragedy can happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's real simple, actually.
We also know that, I guess, Anthony could face a maximum sentence of 5, they say, to 99 years or life in prison. So I want to get your thoughts on that. But also want to point out, as you pointed out, just truly the tragic loss of life also of the fellow teen as his twin brother stood 100%. There and looked on. So, of course, we obviously are getting the breaking news here, but we certainly do not want to forget the lives lost and the family, both families gravely affected.
Families both impacted forever.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So what about the, of course, now we wait for a verdict.
Sentence.
Oh, sorry,
We'll see what happens. The judge does have a lot of discretion. This is a young individual. He was 17 when it happened, which is a very, very relevant factor. Because he's 17, he's not eligible for life imprisonment without parole, by the way, and he was never eligible for the death penalty. That's because of his age. Not that anybody suggests that that would even be remotely on the table on this fact pattern, but I'm just making those X's and O's points. And then the reality is that, it's hard for me to predict. I need to digest it a little more, where the judge is going to go with this. We'll see.